Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. If you can hear me talking, put a 1 in the chat. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Okay, come. Let's hang Christ. You can turn it off. Officer Sharywan, imagine. State your registry.
Officer Sharywan, Ban Banyamin, Ban Yashral.
Officer Sharywan, Ban Banyamin, Ban Yashral. Salute.
Yahbashim Yashar Barakatah.
Yahbashim Yashar Barakatah. You could approach the podium.
Come.
Yahbashim Yashar Barakatah. You make a salute.
Yahbashim Yashar Barakatah. Yahbashim Yashar Barakatah.
Now turn to the camera. Raise the cup. La Yasha'Allah.
La Yashral.
To Israel. Which means to Israel.
Yeah. To Israel.
Alright, this is the I.S.U.P.K Canada Sabbath service. We're going to start. We're going to be going into Slovakia. We're going to be going into Genesis 34 today. Men of Israel, I.M.A.J.A, Akwakim, I.M.A.J.A, which means the sand. Sarapanya Hakodam, which means turn face the east. We're going to go into the prayers. Okay? We're going to go into the prayers. First prayer we're going to say is, so I'll just bear with me one moment. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer. I'm going to read it in the Hebrew, which is the tradition, which is the one West tradition. Right? We're going to say the Lord's Prayer, which is Matthew 6 and 8, Matthew 6, verse 8 to 13, in Hebrew. Officer Sharywan is going to read it in English. Avanal. Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Kodash.
I.S.U.P.K. Yahweh. Barakatah. TITHES. I.S.U.P.K. Barakatah. Shemayim. YAHANNA. Come. Yavon. YAHANNA. One. Ball. Shine. Mayan. Rad. Kaya. Zakah. Amalako. Wahala. Wafafara. Aman. In English. Our Father which art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. Yahweh. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth. As it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever so be.
We're going to say Psalms 121 in Hebrew. Ashar.
Ayanya. Aharim. Mayan. Yabara. Azar. Ma'an. Yahweh. I.S.U.P.K. Shemayim. Warati. Ayathan. Ramawat. Gadalta. Ayanawan. Shemar. Anam. Wa'af. Yanawam. Wa'af. Yashar. Shomar. Yashral. Yahweh. Shemarta. Yahweh. Tazalka. Ayat. Yamyan. Yamam. Hashamash. La Yakaka. Wayra. Walayala. Yahweh. Yashamarka. Korah. Yashamar. Afnapashka. Yahweh. Yashamar. Taza'aka. Wabawa'aka. Ma'aifa.
Alam.
Wa'id Alam. In English, I will lift up mine eyes into the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. Will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore.
We're going to read Psalm 83 in Hebrew. Al-Hayat,
Al-Hayat,
Al-Bahayat,
Al-Yanawan,
Al-Kaf,
Yakaf,
Al-Fakarash,
Al-Fakarash,
Wa'ah, Tashakwat,
Tashakwat,
Yahanna,
Yahanna,
Wa'ah Yavyaka,
Al-Yabika,
Yahanna Yawan,
Yahanna Yawan,
Wama Shana,
Yakaf,
Nasha'ah,
Nasha'ah, Ra'ash,
Al-Ankah,
Al-Amakah,
Ya'irayam,
Ya'irayama, Sawad,
Wa'yah,
Yah,
Ya'itazawat,
Yah,
Al-Tazapawan,
Al-Tazapawan, Yakaf, Amara,
Wakawa,
Wakawa,
Yadam,
Yadam,
Magaya,
Wala'ah, Yazakar,
Sham Yashar,
Sham Yashar, Aywa,
Kayah,
Nawa, Itazawat, La, Yakada, Ayakab, Ayah, Yakarafa, Ahaya, Adawan,
Wayashima Alahayim,
Yashmaya, Lahan,
Ma'aba,
Nawaba,
Wahakari,
Wahagari, the ball,
Wa'anawan,
Wa'anullah,
Parashah,
Al-Shah,
Ayashab,
Al-Mishabi, Tazawar,
Damashua,
Damashawar, Nalawa, Ayman, Aywa, Zarawai,
Labania,
Labania, Lawa, Salah,
Aisha,
Laham,
Kamadia,
Kamadia,
Kasa Yasara,
Kasa Yasara, Kiyabia,
Barakah,
Nakal,
Koyashawan,
Koyashma,
Nashamara, Ba'aya,
Bayan,
Dara,
Yara,
Haywa,
Daman,
La'arma, Shiyah Samwa, Nidad Yamawa,
Nadaya Mawa,
Karat, Ukazaba,
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 Ukazamana,
Ukazmanai,
Ka, Nasa Yakam,
Nasa Yakama, Nasakam,
Wa, Ashar, Amaro, Naya Rasha'a,
Nayara Sha'ah,
Lenau, Na'afwa,
Na'afwa,
Alahaya, Shiyatama,
Shayatama,
Kadaba,
Kadaba, Takwash, Napanya Raka, Ka'ash,
Tabaira,
Tabaira, Ya'ira,
Ukalahaba,
Ukalahaba,
Salahat,
Hari,
Kam,
Taradama,
Basa Iraka,
Asa Iraka,
Waba Sawataka,
Sawapaka,
Sabahawa, Mala,
Malaha,
Panyahan,
Tanyahan,
Kwalawan,
Yabakwasha,
Shaka,
Shankar, Yahweh,
Yabasha,
Yabashwa,
Yabahab, Bahawa,
Bahawa,
I.S.U.P.K, Parwa,
Kaparwa,
Abada,
Abada,
the Iowa,
the Iowa, Kaya,
Sa,
Asa,
Shankaya,
Yahweh,
Badka,
Labaka,
Aliwan,
Ayawan,
Kaharatiza.
Haratiza. In English, keep not thy silence, O God.
Keep not thy silence, O God.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still, O God.
Be not still,
For lo,
for lo,
thine enemies make a tumult,
thine enemies make a tumult,
and they that hate thee
they that hate
have
thee
lifted up their head.
lifted up their head.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people,
They have taken crafty counsel against thy
and
people,
consulted against thy hiddenness.
consulted against thy enemies.
They have said,
They have said,
Come,
Come,
and let us cut them off from being a nation,
let us cut them off from being a nation.
that the name of Israel
That the name of Israel
may be no more in remembrance.
be no more remembered.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against
The tabernacles of Edom,
the tabernacles of Edom,
and the Ishmaelites,
and the Ishmaelites,
of Moab,
of Moab,
and the Hagarenes,
and Hagar,
the Baal,
the Baal,
and Em,
and Am,
and Amalek,
and
the Philistines,
the Philistines,
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
the inhabitants of Tyre.
I also is joined with them.
Sure, also joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have opened the children of
Salah.
Salah.
Do unto them as unto the Midianites,
Do unto them as unto the
as to Sisera,
as to Sisera,
as to Jabin,
as to Jabin,
at the brook of Kissam,
as the brook of Kissam,
which perished at under,
which perished at the
they became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like a wreck,
Make their nobles like a
and like Zeb,
and
yea,
yea,
all the princes of Zabah,
all the princes of the
and as Amunah,
and as of the
who said,
he said,
Let us take to ourselves
let us take to
the
ourselves
houses of God in
the
possession.
house of God and possession.
O my God,
Oh my God,
make them like a wheel,
make them like a
and as the stubble before the wind,
as the stubble before the wind,
as the fire burneth the wood,
as the fire burns the
and
wood,
as the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
and as the flame setteth the mountain on fire.
So persecute them with thy tempest,
So persecute them with thy tempest,
and make them afraid with thy storm.
make them afraid of thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame,
Fill their faces with shame,
that they may seek thy name.
that they may seek thy name.
O Yahweh,
O Yahweh,
let them be confounded in trouble forever.
let them be confounded in trouble forever.
Yea,
Yea,
let them be put to shame
let them be put to shame
and perish,
and perish,
that men may know that thou,
that men may know that thou,
whose name alone is Yahweh,
whose name alone is Yahweh,
art the most high over all the earth.
by the Most High of all the earth. Prayer for the power structure. Barakatah Yahweh,
Barakatah Yahweh,
Wa Yahweh Shah,
YAHWH,
Wa Malakah,
YAHWH,
Wa Alahai,
YAHANNA,
Matazabiyah,
Montezabia,
Alawakiyah,
Alawakiyahan,
Ha-Alawakiyah,
Alawakiyan,
Ha-Saranya,
Hasaranian,
Ha-Kwatazanya,
Kwatazanian,
Ha-Kayal, Yahyam,
Hakayayayam,
Ha-Kwatim,
Harakwathan,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashan,
Hashem,
Yahushua, Rahman.
Yahushua, Rahman. In English, bless you, Yahweh,
Bless you, Yahweh,
and Yahushua,
and Yahushua,
and Michael,
and
and the angels,
and
commanding General Yohanan,
commanding general,
the generals,
the general,
the captains,
captain,
the officers,
the officer,
the troopers,
trooper,
and the sisters.
and assistant.
Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua.
Yahweh, in Yahushua.
Thank you so be it.
Thank you, so be it. Power, pressure, power. Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashan,
Hashem,
Yahushua,
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 Barakashah,
Thundana,
the Thundana,
the cup,
the Cup,
the cup,
the Cup,
Baraka'ah,
the Raka'ah,
Ka'akalah,
Kalmakalah,
the Ka'akalah,
the Kalmanawa,
the cup,
the Cup,
Bataha,
the Tahar,
Hamatazariah,
Hamatazariah,
cup,
the Cup,
Laha, Lahakayam,
Lahakayam,
Hamatayam,
Hamakayam,
the cup,
the Cup,
Arakawa,
Arakal,
Hamata'awa,
Asma'ali,
the Barshan,
the Barishan,
Ba'ashan,
Hashem,
Yahushua,
Yahushua,
the Waraman,
the Waraman. In English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua,
Yahweh, in Yahushua.
please give us the power,
Please give us the
the
power,
power to heal
power to heal
all manner of sickness,
all manner of
and
sin,
all manner of disease,
all manner of disease,
the power to cleanse lepers,
power to cleanse the
the
body,
power to raise the dead,
power to raise the dead,
the power against unclean spirits,
power to cancel sin,
to cast them out.
to cast them out.
In the name of Yahushua,
In Yahushua.
thank you so be it.
Thank you, so be it. With that said, men of Israel, sorry. I'll go into sorry. You may be seated. All right. Let's get to it. So I wish I could show you my team and I switch. Let me turn it over. Yeah, that's correct. All right, so today we're going into Genesis, the 34th chapter, right? And we're going to talk about our sister Dina. Can you just pull Genesis, the 34th chapter, and make sure that's where it's going? Yeah. Okay. So, Genesis 34. All right. Cool. So we're going to go into Genesis 34. We're going to read the first, we're going to read the first 7 verses in Hebrew. Then we're going to break them down in the English, right? Wa-ya-ra, asa, so Genesis 34, verse 1. Wa-tha taza, da, ya, na, ba, la, ashar, yalada, la yakwa, la ra, wa, ba, Salakia, bana, wa, hata, ha'a, rakaza. Verse 2. Waya, ra'a, a, shema, 5. Kama, Salakia. Kama, wa, ka, ya, na, nasha, ya'a, ha'a, rakaza. Waya, kwa, asa. Waya, shema, sa. Waya, na. Verse 3. Wasa, the ba, na, ha, sha, shwa, bada, na, ya. Salakia. Bada, yana, ba, yakwa, waya, ra. Salakia. Waya, na, ra. Waya, the bar, la, na, ra. Salakia. Na, ra. Verse 4. Waya, amar, shema, al, kama, wa, aba, yuwa, laman, kwa, laya, haya, wada, za, sha, la, sha. Verse 5. Waya, kwa, shemai, maya, tama'a, yana, basawa, waba, na, yawa, wa, hayawa, makwa, na, Yaquan, Hawa, Washada, Waha, Ka, Karash, Yaquan, Ayin, Ba'am, verse 6, Wiyah Tiza'ah, Kama, Wa, Awiyah, Shema, Al, Yaquan, Ladabar, Hawa, verse 7, Waba, Naya, Yaquan, Awa, Man, Ashada, Masham, Ain, Ya, Salakia, Ya, the I, Tizab, Wa, Ha'a, Na, Shayam, Ya, Ka, Laham, Ma'ai, Maya, Nabala, Aisha, Baya, Shara, Salakia, Baya Sha'ala, the Shema, Ba, Yakwa, Woman, Aisha. That was up to verse 7. That was the end of verse 7 in the Hebrew. So now we're going to read Genesis 34, verses 1 to 8 in the English.
Okay. Genesis chapter 34 and verse 1. And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob.
Right, so Jacob had 4 wives, right? Leah was one of his wives, right? She gave him a daughter. Her name was Dinah, right? And Dinah, she wanted to do like all the other sisters, like most sisters, she wanted to go outside, right? And sisters, what you're gonna learn when you start to go outside, outside is not a safe place. You're gonna go outside and you're gonna think that other nations love you. No, they don't. The other nations want to do what they've done for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans from the jump. They want to abuse us. Right. Keep reading.
Well, to see the daughters of the land.
Right. So she went outside to see the daughters of the land. But now, a lot of times, you think that the daughters of the land care about you. Right. You think because they're nice to you, they want to be your friends. Right. They're going to put you in a horrible situation. Right? The daughters of our oppressors, the daughters of heathens they're unsavory women. They're horrible women. Emphasis on the law. Right? Keep reading.
Verse 2. And then Shechem, the son of Hamor the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her.
Right. So there was a Hamite who saw a beautiful Israelite woman. Right. Now every sister in Israel is absolutely amazingly beautiful.
Right.
Right. I'm gonna keep it real. I've never seen a sister out of Israel that isn't beautiful. Right. You take what the world would say is the top, the baddest looking woman for the heathen nation, and you line her up against 10 sisters, and she's gonna be nowhere in comparison.
Right.
Right. So this heathen, he saw his sister. Right. Now let's you're gonna find out what happened to the sister. It's the same thing that always happens to sisters when they go around heathen nations. Keep reading.
He took her.
Right, so he took it. It's like I take this ball of this. Listen, this is the one that we use for Sabbath service. It's amazing. So it's like he just took it. He wanted it. He seen it, so he grabbed it and he took it. Keep reading.
And lay with her.
Now think about taking something. Right? Shalom Yahweh, Shalom Yahweh Shamar, Alatham Basham Yashai Casey, right? And he laid with her, right? So if you take something, if you take a sister and you lay with her, that is abuse, right? You can't just take a sister and lay with her. Now you can lay hold, but that is a whole different thing. Lay hold is to spit game. You can talk to your sister and spit game, and you convince her to be your wife, and you lay with her and you endow her to be your wife, right? Like he took her and he laid with her. He read him.
And defiled her.
And this heathen, this disgusting heathen, probably push me. You see them how like they push me, they eat with their fingers, right? And it's like they have a plate. I'll take my fingers, well, not me per se, but the heathen will take his fingers, he'll dip it into the plate. The other heathen will dip it into the plate. They'll stuff those fingers in their mouth and put it back in the plate, right? And he laid with her, he defiled her, right? And I go on YouTube, right? So the algorithm, there are certain words they don't want us to say, but he raped her, right? He abused our sister, right? Which is it's a crime punishable by death, right? Shalom, Sister Nawa, Yahweh Shema, Allah, right? He abused her. Now, when you abuse a sister, that's like death. It's like you murdered her spirit. She's never going to be the same again. Can you read it?
Verse 3. And his soul clave unto Dinah, daughter of Jacob.
Now, this is what heathens do, right? Especially these Hamites. There's a group of Hamites that they go into other tribes and they take the daughters, they kidnap the daughters, right? And then they kidnap the daughters, they lay with them and say, now you're my wife, daughters, I'm going to marry you, right? This heathen, he abused our sister, and his soul flew down to her. He wanted to stay with her, right? Which is, it's a horrible thing. Like he should have went to the father would have told him no. But because the heathens hate us, and because heathen nations have no laws, right? He abused our sister. Keep reading.
And loved the damsel.
He, in his mind, his version of love, this is the thing now. This is exactly what oppressors do. They abuse us, right? They've been abusing us from. Listen, they've been abusing us since before Genesis 34, right? And they abuse us, and then after they abuse us, they want us to love them. Keep reading.
And spake kindly unto the damsel.
Right, so after he abused her, he spake kindly unto the damsel. Right, now how does that even make sense? You destroyed his sister's spirit, and now you're going to speak kindly to someone. It's like, now I get painted for there's going to be some brothers and sisters coming out of the world trying to find the truth, trying to come home, which is a good thing. If you're watching this, it's a good thing because you finally found the truth, right? Now imagine, I'm going to paint the scenario for you. Someone burns down your house. You bought a car. Someone threw a brick in it, right through the windshield. So you bought a house. Someone threw a Molotov cocktail at it. It burnt down. Your windshield has a hole and a whole brick in the passenger seat, right? And then the person who burnt down your house and who threw a brick into your car, they come and speak kindly to you. They want to be like, Shayu, how do you do that? I just threw a brick in your car. You good? Let's go get a drink. Like, that was in the mind of this heathen. He really.
Verse 4. And Shechem spake unto his father Hamor.
And now Shechem, he went to his father, right? He's doing, like, listen, the mind of a heathen is a total, it's a horrible thing. He abused his sister, and now he wants to go speak to his father. Keep reading.
Saying, get me this damsel to wife.
After he abused our sister, he said, get this damsel to wife, right? What is going on in this man's mind? Keep reading.
Verse 5. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah his daughter.
Now imagine a father. You're living, okay, so one thing you have to know is, as Jacob was moving, as he got his ribs and he left Laban's house, right? And he's traveling. He he goes into the land, there's Hamites everywhere in this land, right? He's amongst Hamites, he's outnumbered, and he finds out a Hamite abused his daughter. The torment that must be going through his mind. Keep reading.
Now his sons were with his cattle in the field.
Now his sons were with his cattle in the field. Right? Jacob, he had 12 sons. Right? 13 sons, but Levi is not a tribe. Because Levi as a priest, they were in every land. Levi didn't get an inheritance. They got, as you read further in, you'll find out that Levi, they had an office that they had to uphold. Right? They were just everywhere. Keep reading.
Okay. And Jacob held his peace until they were come.
Jacob wanted to go and slaughter those Hamites, right? But he held his peace because what are you going to do? You have to hold your peace until your sons get there. And this is why it's a good thing to have children. This is why abortion is such a horrible thing. Think about what abortion is doing. Abortion is destroying the Lord's army on earth, right? How many lawyers, doctors, and scientists, and priests that are supposed to be in the UK and Slovakia, just leaders of our community, teachers and inventors have died due to the vacuum and due to a sister's choice of laying with a man and then not wanting that responsibility. Right? Keep reading.
Verse 6. That's right. Verse 5. And Jacob held his peace until they were come.
And he held their peace until they came. Keep reading.
Verse 6. And Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out unto Jacob to commune with him.
Now this how you know, like these guys have absolutely no conscience.
Right.
Now you're trying to be friends with Hamites, you're trying to be friends with Edomites, with Moabites, with Ammonites, with what's another nation? Elamites, right? Israelites. All these heathen nations that are around about us. And you think that they care about you. You think that they have conscience. They have absolutely no conscience. This man decided that after his son abused this woman, he's going to go to the father of the woman that was abused and ask for the hand in marriage. Keep reading.
Verse 7. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it.
Now they heard this thing and they were coming home. Right? They got the message. They were on their way back. Keep reading.
And the men were grieved.
And they were grieved that something happened in Slovakia. And Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you get angry because someone stepped on your shoe. You sisters get angry because another sister in the same dress as you. Right? That doesn't happen in the U.K. Right? Now just imagine how angry it is to hear that someone abused your sister. Right? Keep reading.
Okay. Verse 7. The sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it.
The sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it. Keep reading.
And the men were grieved.
And the men were grieved.
And they were very wroth,
Read.
because he had wrought folly in Israel.
The folly is you laid with a sister you're not supposed to lay with, you destroy her spirit. Right? Can you imagine now? Every sister should know. Slovakia. Every sister shouldn't know this, but every sister knows that if a man tries to lay with them and they don't want it, they're going to go through pain, they're going to go through torment. It's going to be something that's troubling to you, something that's gonna go against your spirit. Right? Keep reading.
In lying with Jacob's daughter.
He brought folly by laying with a sister, with a princess that he wasn't supposed to touch. He wasn't even supposed to look at her. Keep reading.
Which thing ought not to be done.
Right, so now, for those of you who think you could just love everybody, right, this is telling you right here that this is not to be done. Right? He was not supposed to lay with her. It's not to be done at all. Right? So he brought folly into Israel. This was the folly of a heathen laying with a sister, right? If you're Black, Hispanic, and Native American, get Black, Hispanic, and Native American. Now, Americans say this all the time. I American, right? They'll rather you buy a Chevrolet, right, over a Honda Accord, right? They want you to buy the Impala. They rather you buy the Impala or the Cadillac, right? The Lord wants you to buy Black, Hispanic, and Native American.
Right.
That's what He wants. He's saying buy Black, Hispanic, and Native American. No.
Slacking, if I may. I hear so many people talk about the first commandment being be fruitful and multiply.
Right.
They don't understand the Most High was telling a brother to go marry a sister of his family,
Right.
or a sister of his own nation.
Right. And this is why Adam took a rib, right? A rib, the flesh of his flesh. Right. He sewed up that whole thing. He made sure he took someone from his family. Right, so where are we? We're at verse 7. We're just finished verse 7. We're going to read verse 8 in the Hebrew. We read verse 7, right? We're going to read verse 8 in the Hebrew and read to verse 14. So again, we're at Genesis 34, verse 8 to verse 14. Genesis 34, verse 8. We'dah bar, Salakia. We'dah bar, Kama war, Atham, Laman, Shemam, Vanya, Kasha, Ka, Salakia. Kasha, Kaha, Koha, Napa, Shawa, Baba, Mam, Salakia. Anawa, Anam, Tha, Lawa, La, Shahar, verse 9. Waha, Ka, Wa, Tha, Na, Wa, Bana, Ya, Mam, Fan, Wa, Manawa, Wa'a, Bana, Yanawa, the Kwa, Ka, Wa, Salakia, the Kwa, Wa, Lamam, verse 10, Wa'a, Thanawa, the Asha, Wa, Waha, Aratha, the Ha, Ya, Khan, Yamam, Shabah, Wa, Wasa, Ka, Wa, Salakia, Wasa, Ka, Wa, Waha, Ka, Zawa, Ba, Waya, Man, Shema, Allah, Ba, Ya, Wa, Ka, Ya, Amam, Kaza'a, Kana, Kan, Ba'ai, Yan, Ya, Yam, Salakia, Ba'ai, Ya, Ba'ai, Yana, Imam, Wa'a, Shah, Ba'a, Mara, Aliyah, Asan, verse 12, Hara, Bawa, Aliyah, Ma'adah, Salakia, Ma'ad, Mahar, Ramah, Han, Wa'ah, Thana, Ma'ah, Ma'ashah, Ta'ah, Marah, Aliyah, Watha, Nawar, Ayah, An, Na, I, La'ah, Ma, verse 13. Ayah, Ain, Nawar. So I can go with me a moment. From the Yaqua, Shema, Wa'ah, Kamara, Kamawar, Wa, Salakia, Abba, Wa, Rama, Rama, Wayada, Awar, Ashad, Tama'ah, Ad, the Na, Khan, verse 14, the Amar, Ra, La Yaham, La'ah, Na, Nawar, Ma, La'ain, Shawar, Adar, Bar, Hazar, La'tha, An, Akha, the Nawar, La'ah, Yash, Ashar, La, Ira, La, Salaka, Ira, La, Maya, Kara, Ha, Hawar, Lanan, Wa. All right, so we read from verses 8 to 14 in Hebrew, and we're going to read it again in English.
Come. Verse 8. And Hamor communed with them, saying, the soul of my son, Shechem longeth for your daughter. And pray you give her him to wife.
What a sick bastard. Right. This is a sick individual. A man abuses a woman and then says to her father, my son abused your daughter, can you wife her out? Good night. He should have had his neck off of his head, off of his shoulders in that moment. Right? That's exactly what happened. He abused his sister and then turned around and said, can you give us your hand in marriage? This is like bullying, right? Politicians abuse us. Oppressors abuse us. And then they come around and say, can you vote for me? Right? Read verse 9.
And making marriages with us.
They wanted to make marriages with us. And this is what the heathen nations always want to do. They know that the Lord is with us. They want us to be in bed with them. Right? And now, Black Hispanics and Native Americans, you've been in bed with the oppressor for you've been in bed with the oppressor since we've been so-called freed from slavery. Right? For the Northern Kingdom, they've been in bed with the oppressor since they came out from ships. Right? And then how has it turned out? Right? The tribe of Levi isn't running from Haiti into Mexico because they're having a wonderful time in Haiti. Right? Mexican, the tribe of Y.A.H.U.P.K aren't leaving Mexico to come to America because they're having a wonderful time. Right? The oppressor wants us to be in bed with them, right? Literally be in bed with them and just be in their culture at the same time, right? As the metaphor. But it hasn't worked out for us at all. We've been totally abused. You can see down there in Montreal, in the city of Montreal, brothers are being shot dead at an alarming rate by police, right? And a lot of brothers are going through mental breakdowns. A lot of brothers are going through mental breakdowns because of Christianity, because Christianity told them they could love their oppressor. And now they're realizing they can't. They're not getting help. Christianity told them you can smoke all the drugs in the world and God will love you. And because of that, more brothers are having mental breakdowns. Sisters in the world are just being totally used and abused. I've seen something on Facebook where people are saying it's satire, or who knows. And Edomite dressed up. Now he has on some Hamite garment, right? And his head wrap. And he's saying he's saying he's a woman. First off, it's an Edomite man. He's saying he's a woman. Second, because a man can be a woman, that also means a man who is an Edomite could say he's an Israelite. Right? This is a whole Caucasian saying he's a black woman. Good night. Let's just keep going.
So, and give your daughters unto us.
They wanted to take our daughters. That's what they really want. Right? And you sisters who are in bed with the oppressor loves you, and you just love the oppressor system. Now you get a slap in the face, right? Now you get a slap in the face because oppressors are trying to be like you. Right? The oppressor's daughter wants to be like you. They want to live with you. They want to destroy your community. What you're doing right now? Keep reading.
And take our daughters unto you. Verse 10. Ye shall dwell with us.
They wanted us to dwell with them, right? Because we had the Lord on our side. We have the riches. Keep reading.
And the land shall be before you.
And the land shall be before you. So you can keep reading, break it down as you go.
And take our daughters unto you. That sounded like also the body was breaking down. Right? This whole thing is unlawful. This whole thing goes against everything that the Most High wants from the children of Israel. And again, it says in our laws, the children of Israel are commanded to be therefore holy, because the Most High is holy. The Most High is separate. The Most High is different. He is set apart. And we are His children. We are God's children. Israel, Yahshua, the princes of the power. And we are commanded to be different from everybody else too. Not to be like these other nations just going around laying down with everybody. We're to be separate from everybody else. Right? To cleave to our own. It's very important for the children of Israel to do.
Where do you go? Verse 10.
Come.
You can keep reading.
And He shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you. Dwell and trade you therein.
Wait, they wanted us to trade with them. They wanted our money.
Right?
That sounds like I have a dream. That sounds like integration.
Right. That
sounds like everything that destroyed the so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native American community. Keep reading.
Absolutely. And if I may, this is why Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are separated today.
Right.
Too many people are teaching that because King Solomon had a whole bunch of wives when he fell. No, King Solomon fell because of interracial marriage.
Right.
He laid down with a dog, it's lucky.
He laid with a bunch of different canines. He had like Jews and bulls and German shepherds. So everything that split the kingdom.
Right.
Till his second in command got half the kingdom. Right? And then on top of that, they still went on. The northern kingdom still went on. Judah seen what the northern kingdom did, and they did it too. Yeah. Which was even worse. And now we're here. Now we're here having Sabbath services, having to break down your history and teach you something that you should have already known. Right? Having to teach you that you are the children of Israel. other one was just, like, messing with you all the time. Good night. All right, where we at?
Verse 11. SHALAM, end of verse 10. And get you possessions therein.
Right, so they thought they were gonna trade with us. They wanted some of that good capital. They wanted to learn how to farm. They wanted to learn how to do everything the children of Israel do. Now look, because of interracial marriage and because of integration, they're telling us some German is the best hip hop artist ever.
Good.
And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? How the hell is he better than this? How the hell is he? Listen, people be like that German. He watched Jay-Z on Renegade, right? And I'm thinking, what the hell? Listen, did you even listen to what Jay-Z said on Renegade? Like, come on now, y'all gotta go back, because I'm quite sure every brother can relate to what he said on that verse. Right now, I'm just not to take away from what the hell we're talking about, but that's what happens when you do read that last verse.
Okay. And get you possessions therein.
When you get possessions in our land, when we go possess the things that the heathens hold dear, that's what happens. The heathens come up above us. So, Lockyer officer, can you get me, put the bookmark right in there. Get me Genesis, Deuteronomy 28, and I gotta find it. So, I gotta find it right quick. Deuteronomy 28, somewhere. I'm looking for the heathens who get above us. Revelation 43. Read that for me.
Okay. This is Deuteronomy 28, verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high.
Right, so the stranger, right, this is what happens. You cleave on to these strangers, you let them in, they're gonna get up above you very high. Right? Now, you know who learned this? Listen, there was a brother, right? There's a brother, he just learned this. Sugar, what the hell is his name? Sugar Ray Mosley or something like that? Sugar Shane Mosley was awesome. Champion, took the punches in the face. The heathen was already married when he married her. He's trying to sue. She won the divorce settlement. Guess what they gave her? They gave her his boxing belts.
Three championship belts.
She got belts. She didn't take a single punch in the face. The heathens will get high above you. What the hell are you talking about? Now, you don't understand that. Just go pay rent to your oppressor today. Listen, what they said, today's the 23rd. In 7 days, go pay rent to the oppressor you pay rent to. And tell yourself that this heathen is not above you. Good night. Listen, go 5 minutes late to your slavery. And tell me the heathens are not above you. This is what happens. Let's get back to what we're reading.
Okay. Verse 11. And Shechem said unto her father and unto her brethren, let me find grace in your eyes, and what ye shall say unto me, I will give.
Good night. What was that? That was 20. That was verse 11. Right. He trying to find grace. Keep reading.
Verse 12. Ask me never so much dowry and gift.
He said, I already agreed. Wait, Shechem's the son, right? Yeah, Shechem's the son, right? He said, I already abused your daughter. I already felt her glory, right? I already destroyed her. Can I destroy her so much more? And I'll pay anything, right? He should have did that first, just to be told no, right? But because he knew he was gonna get told no, he just said, forget it. I'm just gonna do it. Now, this is the thing. Haven't you ever noticed the heathen nations know how to speak game for you sisters who get seduced by these heathens? What the hell is he whispering in your ear saying? I'm just confused. He said, I'll make you a mayo and tomato sandwich. I'm gonna spread that mayo on those buttons. Good. What the hell are you talking about? I just don't get it. You sisters, listen. And there is a sister in the chat that's not in the school, obviously, because she's not in the school, that has a healing. So type in the game that he spit. Please, public shot. Put it in the comments. Put the game that he spit to get you to be like, oh my gosh, what the hell is going on? He wanted to pay all the dollars. Keep reading.
And I will give according as ye shall say unto me.
He said, he'll give according as you say unto me. Read, finish.
But give me the damsel to wife.
He already destroyed and took. This is how you know that he didn't go give a damn about culture and anything, right? Because he already took what a husband gets when he has a wife. Right? He already took it. And now you're asking for it. What the hell are you talking about? He destroyed. These are Hamites. Right? This is the culture. Look at what the Hamites do. You watch Black Panther. You seen the scene in Black Panther in the start of the movie. The one Hamite, both those Hamites are trying to save a bunch of sisters, right? And I'm not saying they're our sisters, but they're trying to save a bunch of women from being child brides. That's a big thing. Go just type it in your Google machine. Read.
Verse 13. The sons of Jacob answered Shechem, Hamor's father, deceitfully, and said.
Now Jacob and them, they said, listen, they had a plan.
Right.
Do not, when it comes to warfare, you think the oppressor knows warfare. He doesn't. A brother in the spirit of the Lord knows warfare. The Lord is playing war with the earth right now. He's playing the biggest chess game. Speaking of chess, listen, I got that chess out. Y'all can add me. Check out my Facebook, add me. I'll clean you up and checkmate you real quick. But the Lord is playing checkers. He's playing chess. While y'all are playing checkers, he's playing chess with the whole earth. He said, September 11th, he said, mad cow disease. What was it? A bunch of diseases that they were just in the earth. SARS, a bunch of stuff. It's 2022 now. We just went through 40 different versions of COVID. Right? We see Russia start attacking Ukraine, saying he wants back his land. Right? And after that, Montreal is going through a damn explosion of monkeypox. And if you think it's not coming your way, it is coming. Stay away from everything unlawful. Right? They say monkeypox, you just get it by touching. Good. Man, what the hell are they doing in these villages? That's what they linked it to. The World Health Organization said the monkeypox is coming from the LGBTQ community. Speaking of which, I'll talk about that after. Right? Where are we at?
Verse 15.
You could read.
And said, because he had defiled Dinah, their sister. Verse 14. They said unto them, we cannot do this thing.
And they said, we can't do this. That's what he did. That's the answer he knew he was going to get. He knew he was going to get that answer. That's why he did what he did, hoping that he would. Now, if you think the heathens don't know our culture, they do. They know that we want that sex marriage. That's why they tell sisters, listen, just sleep with that man and throw him away. That's why they tell brothers, like, you don't have to keep that sister. You can just leave. Keep reading.
To give our sister to one that is uncircumcised.
They're saying, we can't give you our sister. Right? You're not circumcised. Now, again, these men are playing chess. These men are playing war. They're playing a whole game of war. So, yeah, did we just break out for a second? I think we stopped for a second. Yeah, it looks like we're back. If you can hear us, just put a 1 in the chat. Anybody watching real quick, just put a 1 in the chat if you can hear us, if everything's too loud. Looks like we stopped for a second. think we might be back. We're gonna continue. If there's any trouble with the volume or with the stream right now, just let us know so we can fix it. Yeah, you can keep reading.
Okay. And they said unto them, we cannot do this thing, to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised.
They said, we can't give you our sister because you're uncircumcised. Read.
For that were a reproach unto us.
Right, a reproach now. Overshot. Can you pick up the word reproach for us? Right. It'd be a reproach unto us. It'd be something that it's just not good. Something that's not good, right? Because the culture of Israel was to be circumcised. Abraham circumcised Isaac, Isaac circumcised Jacob, and so on. Right? And as Officer Sharon finds reproach, we're going to go back into the Hebrew. We're going to read from 15 to 21. So, you don't have it? Okay, you can just Google it for us real quick. Right, and when you got it, just let me know, and we'll break it down. Right, so we're at Genesis 34, verse 15. Baza'a, na'a, wa, lamam, faha, yawa, maman, nawa, laha, ma, la, lamam, ma, zamar, 16. Wana, nawa, Bana, nawa, lamam, la'a, bana, yamam, nakwa, nawa, shabanawa, athamam, wahaya, salakia, wahaya, nawa, la'ain, akar, 17, la'a, Basham, Iwa, Laha, Yanawa, Laha, Mawa, Wala, Ka, Mawa, Basa, Mawa, Waha, Lama, Mawa, 18, Waya, Yata, Wa, Wa, Ra, Yaham, Ba'ai, Yana, Ya, Salakia, Ba'ai, Ya, Kama, Wa, Ba, Aya, Maya, Salakia, Ba, Ya, Shemam, Ban, Kana, Wa, verse 19. Wala, Akar, Hana, Ira, La'ai, Shawa, Hada, Ba, Maya, Kapa, Taza, Batha, Haba, Yankwa, Waha, Wa'a, Nama, Ba, Mama, Baya, Abba, Iwa, verse 20. Waya, Abba, Kama, Kamawa, Washamam, Banawa, La'a, Sha'ara, Aya, Ram, Waya the bar ra Salakia. Waya the bar wa na shia ayar ayram la'a amar, verse 20. Salaki, verse 21. Mashayam la'a shalom yam ham atha wa Vijaya Shabawa Ba'a Rafaza Waya Sakar Ra Salaka Waya Sakar Ra Atha Waha Rafaza Hana Waka Ba Yayan Lapa Na Salaka Lapa Na Ya Bana Bana Nakwa Luna Shayan Wa'a Luna Taya Nawa Nathan Laham. All right, so we read 15 to 21 in the Hebrew. Now we're going to break it down in the English. Oh yeah, you can give us that definition of reproach.
Definition of reproach, according to the Merriam-Webster's dictionary, it's an expression of rebuke or disapproval.
Right. So them taking in a Hamite that wasn't circumcised, where it was a disapproval. Them just taking in a Hamite in general was a disapproval. Yeah. You can read in the English for right now from 15 to 21.
Okay. Genesis 34, verse 15. But in this will we consent unto you, that if you will be as we be, that every male of you be circumcised.
Now, listen. These brothers are deceiving these Hamites. Right? They're totally deceiving them. They say, if you sell this crack cocaine, you can get a Cadillac, and your lives will be better. But doesn't that sound like everything they tell Black Hispanics and Native Americans? Right. Keep reading.
Then will we give, verse 16, then will we give our daughters unto you.
Then you can have our daughters. You gotta do something for us. Right? Keep reading.
And we will take your daughters to us.
If you circumcise your whole nation, you can have our daughters, and we'll take your daughters. Good night. Listen, brothers. Listen, man. Where we really out that want to go against Black Hispanics and Native Americans? Right. Yeah. Now, one thing that we know for a fact, right? I said it once, I'm gonna say it again. When it comes to warfare, there's no one who knows better warfare than Black Hispanics and Native Americans, right? So much so that Esau studied Black Hispanics and Native Americans when it comes to warfare. When it comes to tactics of going to war, they study us, right? To a point, a lot of where an Apache helicopter, they name it after these Gadite tribes, after the Northern Kingdom. Keep reading.
And I'm coming.
You are 16.
And we will take your daughters to us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people.
Right. So they're saying, listen, we're going to become one people. They're selling a new dream right now. right? They're doing all of this thing that they're not supposed to be doing. Right? Keep reading.
Verse 17. But if ye will not hearken unto us to be circumcised, and we will take our daughter, and you will be gone.
Yeah, so they're saying, they're basically saying, like, listen, do this thing, or we're going to take our daughters and be gone. And because we know that the Black Hispanic and Native American woman, she's just on top of her game when it comes to that big point TV. Right? Listen, we got some sisters that, now they put up, they will put up some badly built, right? That's what they say, badly built, some badly built Becky. They said badly built Becky, and they said that is a dime. And then you just walk into any ghetto. You just walk into any ghetto, and you see your sister. She got $20 in her pocket. She goes to the mall. And she comes up like, well, goddamn, where you come from? Right. Right. So they said that to them, and because these kind of knew that our sisters are the best, they said we're willing to do anything. Right. Because now this is the thing, right? Brothers in the world, take a lesson from us. Brothers in the truth, take a lesson from us. Do not let box distract you from what's really going on. It's a good distraction. This is one of the best distractions, actually. It's good, right? That distraction right there will get you like really walking into a whole trap. You'll be drinking a lot of poison just because you are distracted by box. And you will mutilate yourself because you are distracted by box. It's horrible. Do not let it be distracting. Because 30 times out of 10, notice 30 don't fit into 10. But 30 times out of 10 is going to end horribly. Keep reading.
And we will take our daughter, and we will be gone. Verse 18. And their words pleased Hamor, and Shechem, Hamor's son.
Right, their words pleased Hamor and Shechem, Hamor's son. So they said, listen, we got to do this thing and we can get in. Good night. They didn't see the trap. They didn't see the rook being moved. Slovakia and the queen lining up. Right. Keep reading.
Verse 19. And the young man deferred not to do the thing, because he had delight in Jacob's daughter.
So he said he was going to do it.
Right.
Listen, deferred means like you. Slovakia, deferred. Let me just get that definition real quick. But I might be mistaken, but it basically means like when you go do a thing, like you're not disagreeing to do it. Right, deferred. Past tense, deferred, put off an action or event to a later time, postpone. He did not postpone to do it. He did it with haste because he knew that he liked Dina after he abused her. Right. Now there are many brothers who see a sister and want to talk to that sister and be like, how do I get that sister? And she's single and in her right spirit, she's gonna say, well, you gotta get in class. And that brother will defer not to get in class, he will get in class and he will get raised up and he will put in work because he wants that sister. There are sisters who do the same thing. And Lord be with you if you leave. Right? That goes for brothers and sisters. Lord be with you if you get into these ranks in this safe place and you leave. Keep reading.
Because he had delight in Jacob's daughter, and he was more honorable than all the house of his father.
Right. Now that's saying something. He abused his sister, and they said he was more honorable than the rest of his family. Good man. So what the hell was the rest of his family doing? Were they taking child brides? Were they like Boko Haram? Keep reading.
Verse 20. And Hamor and Shechem his son came into the gate of their city, and communed with the men of their city, saying, These men are peaceable with us. Therefore let them dwell in the land, and trade therein. For the land, behold, is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us for wives.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do we have a program here?
Yeah, we do. No, don't worry about it.
Verse 20.
All right, you could keep reading.
Verse 21. These men are peaceable with us. Therefore let them dwell in the land, and trade therein. For the land, behold, is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us for our wives, and let us give them our daughters.
All right, we're gonna have to break this one down to the top, because listen, again, don't let that box distract you from the whole trap, right? Do not listen, that sister looked good, right? And obviously, that's not exactly what this is talking about, but it's gonna be a teaching lesson, right? I'm gonna use this verse right here to teach brothers that just because it looks good doesn't mean it's good, right? It's a trap. Cuban links that you put around your neck, they look good, so brothers will go and sell drugs to go get them. And then they're stuck in jail for 25 years of their life, 10 years of their life, going through the most horrible situations because they walked into a trap, right? That sister, she looked good. And now, some dudes are at your door knocking and they got hoodies and masks on, right? Because you thought that sister looked so good in her revealing clothes, right? These hammers walk into a whole trap, right? And as you keep reading, for time's sake, I'll let you know what happens, right? They're about to be slaughtered, right? But as you keep reading, you're gonna find out that they're getting slaughtered because they didn't understand what the hell was going on, and because they thought that it was okay to abuse some sister, right? They thought it was okay to abuse some sister. That now these brothers who don't love their sister are going to say it's okay. If these brothers let their sister get abused and then turned around and said, yes, you can marry our sister, they would be saying that they don't love their sister. These brothers love their sister so much that they were willing to go to war with this nation being outnumbered. Right? Keep reading. You should read it again.
Verse 21 from the top. These men are peaceable with us. Therefore let them dwell in the land, and trade therein.
Right. Now, that's to let you know, Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we've always just been at peace with the other nations. We don't really want to go to war with the other nations. We would love to just live. You go about your business, and I go about my business. And we just have a good time, and you do whatever the hell you do, and we're going to obey the law, statutes, and commandments of our power, Yahweh. Right? Hashem Yahweh. We're going to obey Yahweh in the name of Yahweh. Right? Because we're peaceable. We are a peaceable people. Right? And you see now, Slakia. So many shots beat in our neighborhoods, right? right? So many brothers get murdered because we don't have our culture. What you see me and Officer SHALAM doing is we took off the leaves of the other nations and we put back on our culture. We have on our culture. That's why we're here at we're at the library in Richmond Hill at Young and Major Mac. We're going to be back here next Saturday for the Sabbath service. If you want to come and join us, you can come and join us. We're going to be here from the Sabbath service is going to start from 10 o'clock. If there is a change, we'll put it up on Facebook, right? But we'll be here putting back on our culture, right? Because we are peaceable people. And we cannot be at peace with these nations until we get justice for the crimes that they did. Now, the brothers Levi and Simeon, they knew this. They knew there's no peace until they get justice. For some odd reason, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we don't believe in justice, right? And that is because of Christianity and every evil thing the Christian church has taught us. Keep reading the what's up.
For the land, behold, it is large enough for them. Let's take their daughters to us for wives, and let's give them our daughters.
We don't want your daughters. Ew. Yuck. Listen. Really? Nah, I don't want that. What she doing with that scar on her face? Why she have a slice in her face? I don't want that. I want that thing that's like amazing. I want that thing like, listen, there's a Chrysler 300C, and then there's a Bentley. I want the Bentley. Right? I want the Bentley. So
This is head?
yeah.
What they be making the cone-shaped head and the long neck all squared up?
You want that freedom in that. They want that jollof rice. I just want rice and peas. I just want rice and beans. We call it rice and beans, beans and rice. I don't know what the Northern Kingdom call it. Northern Kingdom, get me right. What do you guys call it? Listen, we need a Northern Kingdom brother in the school. Obviously, you're right. If you're watching, get me right. What do they call it? Salakia. Right? All right, so we're going to stop at 21. Right? Next week, we're going to continue at 22. And we're going to give you the rest of the story. You can go and read it all for yourself. And if you have any questions, type it in the chat. Right? Again, this class is sponsored by the like button. Like this channel, subscribe to it, share these classes. Right? We'll be back again. If there is a change in the time of when the Sabbath service is going to start, we'll let you know. Again, we're at the Richmond Hill Public Library, which is located at Young and Major Mac. Young Street and Major Mac. Right? So with that said, we're going to wrap it up. Officer SHALAM, he got this whole thing printed out for me. Like, good man, that'll be too long. That's too long. So put this away. Right? So with that said, we're going to say our prayers and then put an end to the Sabbath service. Men of Israel, I.S.U.P.K, which means to stand. So YAHANNA, which means turn and face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer, which is in Psalms. Salakia. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer, which is Matthew 6, verses 8 to 13. In the Hebrew, and Officer SHALAM is going to say it in English, and then going to read Psalms 121. Abinah, Shabbat Shalom, Kadash, Isupk,
in English, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread,
bread.
Forgive us our debts.
Forgive us our debts.
As we forgive our debtors.
We forgive our debtors.
And lead us not to temptation.
It is not the temptation.
Deliver us from evil.
But deliver us from
For thine is the kingdom,
the thine is the
the
kingdom,
power,
and the power,
and the glory,
and the glory,
forever so be.
forever so be it. Psalm 121 in the Hebrew, like Salakia. I was like, rap. Don't tell me that Edomite raps better than Yasha'ah. Salakia. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah.
Asha'ah. Amen.
Ahahai.
Ahahai.
Ma'ayah.
Ma'ayah.
Yaba'ah.
Yaba'ah.
Isaiah.
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 Ma'ayah.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Asha'ah.
Asha'ah.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Barak.
Barak.
Al-Yatam.
Al-Yatam.
Al-Wah.
Al-Wah.
Al-Dalka.
Al-Dalka.
Al-Yanawah.
Al-Yanawah.
Shemar.
Martha.
Al-Nala'ah.
Al-Nala'ah.
Al-Nawah.
Al-Nawah.
Al-Ah.
Al-Ah.
Yesham.
Yesham.
Shalomar.
Shalomar.
Yasha'ah.
Yasha'ah.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Shemar.
Shemar.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Tizalka.
Tizalka.
Al-Yah.
Al-Yah.
Yanyanka.
Yanyanka.
Yamah.
Yamah.
Yashemar.
Shemar.
La'ah.
La'ah.
Yakaka.
Yakaka.
La'irah.
La'irah.
La'Yah.
La'Yah.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashemar.
Yashmar.
Karan.
Korah.
Yashemar.
Yashmar.
Pash.
Pascha.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashemar.
Yashmar.
Kadaraka.
Kadaraka.
Wa'aka.
Wa'aka.
Ma'aika.
Ma'aika.
Wa'alam.
Wa'alam. In English, I lift up mine eyes unto the hills.
I lift up my eyes unto the
From
Lord.
whence cometh my help? My help comes from the help,
My help comes from
which
the
made
Lord,
heaven and earth.
which made heaven and
Do
earth.
not suffer thy foot to be moved.
Do not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep.
he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right
Yahweh
hand.
thy shade upon the right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee
nor
by
the
day,
moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all
He
evil.
shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out,
He shall preserve thy going out,
and thy coming in,
and thy coming
from this time forth,
in. This time forth,
and even forevermore.
even forevermore. Okay, so with that said, we're gonna put an end to the class. Sorry, which means to turn. Men of Israel, we're gonna give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, Amad Shabbat. Amajim, Barak.
Yahweh Hashem Hashem Barakatah.
Yadutah. Men of Israel, we're gonna give a courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Amad Shabbat. Amajim, Barak.
Yahweh Shema Lathan Hashem Hashem.
Yadutah.